Destroy! Destroy! Destroy!
Hello, and welcome back to another video of Director's Choice. The itsy bitsy spider climbed up the water spout, down came the goblin, and took the spider out. Green Goblin. You guys must have guessed by now what is today's video about. Today's video is going to be about the top 10 villains of the Spider-Man series. In today's video, you'll get to know the backstories that the power villains had, how each villain tried to destroy Spider-Man, but they never succeeded. So what are you waiting for? Let's get started.
Here we go again.
Number 10. Sandman. William Baker, Sandman, was born in Queens, New York. At the point when he was 3 years of age, his dad abandoned him and his mom. In these early years, she took her child to Coney Island seashore.
Never heard of a sandstorm at Coney Island.
He lost himself cheerfully in sand sculptures, an art he would use in secondary school under the support of his instructor, Miss Flint. After Vic, his friend, acquires an enormous betting obligation to a mobster, he asks Flint to fix a football matchup he wagered on to take care of his debt. The mentor insults Baker, disclosing to him that he will achieve nothing of significance in his life. Rock hits his ex-mentor and got himself expelled from the school, and that's how he started a life of a criminal. Sandman conflicts with Spider-Man for the first time in Peter's secondary school. Spider-Man massacres Marco with a vacuum cleaner and hands it over to the police. The Sandman escapes by traversing the window by turning himself into sand. The Sandman has the ability to transform his body. He can change his body to be solidified, compacted, scattered, or formed, or a mix of those characteristics. An earth control of sand and rock particles. Sandman can form his arms and hands into shapes. For example, a mace or a heavy hammer to fight Spider-Man and his different foes. Number 9. RHINO. Alexei Siksevich, RHINO, was at one point a poor Russian outsider with no training or abilities. Frantic to accumulate the cash, he expected to carry his family to the United States. He immediately turned into a typical thug and authority for different criminal associations.
Soon I will get the other two, and then I will control the world.
Along these lines, he permitted himself to be given intensive sub-hypnotic training before volunteering as a test subject in a criminal experiment to create an unstoppable henchman. He was chosen because of his enormous size and the conviction that his low knowledge would keep him loyal. Going head-to-head against Spider-Man, RHINO handedly overwhelmed the Spider-Man with his dependence on savage power. The Spider-Man immediately distinguished the RHINO's essential shortcoming that he would charge one way without the capacity to change course.
Now that I have the last component, watch out, world!
Mutagenic substance and radiation medicines, including gamma beam barrage, furnishes RHINO with superhuman quality, elevated degrees of speed and endurance, and a high level of strength. RHINO's superhuman speed permits him to run as well as exercise at high speeds, particularly over short separations. He often charges his adversaries as such, empowering him to make incredible damage most foes in the encompassing territory. Number 8. The Lizard. The Lizard, Curtis Court Connors, was born in Coral Gables, Florida. He was a talented specialist who enrolled in the U.S. Armed Forces and was sent off to war. He performed crisis war zone medical procedures on injured GIs. However, his right arm was harmed in an impact and must be excised.
Whoa, is this animal DNA? Do you see what he was getting at?
He effectively regrew the missing appendage of a bunny and afterwards decided to test it on himself. Connors ingested the serum to his missing arm, coming about into developing his back arm, yet the equation had a symptom. Connor was along these lines changed into a mutated man-lizard. The lizard attempts to get a machine that will discharge a harmful cloud. Meanwhile, Spider-Man finally reaches the peak of the tower and is able to replace the machine with an antidote to Connor's serum. Peter releases the cloud, causing the lizard to turn back to an injured Dr. Connors, as well as changing the former police that became cross-species. The lizard has remarkable superhuman strength, able to lift weight that no human ever could. The lizard's physical might is so great that he is obviously stronger than Spider-Man himself. He has shown the ability to travel at great speeds. The lizard's skin, bone, and muscle tissue are denser and tougher than ordinary humans. He can fall from great heights and even take blows from Spider-Man without sustaining much damage. Number 7. Shocker. Herman was born in New York City around the year 1976. With his brilliant talent as an inventor, he became a successful burglar. developing a pair of gauntlets designed to release shockwaves.
The Shocker is alive.
Calling himself the Shocker, he went on to face Spider-Man several times as one of Spider-Man's first super adversaries.
Rest in pieces, wall crawler.
Shocker was finally arrested sometime later. The Shocker wears a pair of gauntlets he designed with vibro shock units known as Vibro Smashers that, when activated by a pump-action thumb trigger, can project a concentrated blast of compressed air that vibrates at an intense frequency. This creates a series of rapid successions, high-pressure air blasts that results in a series of powerful impacts. This allows Shocker to both effectively throw long-range vibrational punches from a distance, creating destructive vibrations that can crumble solid concrete and cause extensive damage to the human body. Number 6. Venom. Venom, Edward Charles Allen Brock, is raised in a Roman Catholic household in San Francisco. Eddie's mother dies from complications during his birth, and as a result, his father Carl Brock is cold and unaffectionate towards him. Eddie excels in academics and sports in an attempt to earn his father's approval, but does not succeed. Venom begins a campaign of torment against Peter, who is still unaware of his existence.
You're gonna pay. From now on, we're poison to you, Spider-Man. That's why we call ourselves Venom.
He first pushes Peter in front of a moving subway without activating his spider sense, and later terrorizes Spider-Man's wife, Mary Jane. Venom baits Spider-Man to his apartment for their first confrontation, where Venom reveals his true identity to Spider-Man, claiming, "You may call me Venom, for that's what I'm paid to spew out these days."
Eddie Brock isn't the same guy he once was. We call ourselves Venom.
Spider-Man discovers that the symbiote has completely bonded with Brock and cannot be killed without also killing Brock.
The noise! What you done? You tricked us!
Brock gains several abilities similar to those of Spider-Man. The symbiote's former host, including superhuman strength, speed, agility, and reflexes, as well as the ability to adhere to most surfaces with his hands and feet. The symbiote is also able to project a web-like substance from his body, similar to Spider-Man's. Number 5. Mysterio.
I am Mysterio, and I am putting Spider-Man on notice. Nowhere you can run.
Mysterio is a major villain for Marvel Comics, most commonly serving as an enemy to Spider-Man, Deadpool, and Daredevil. He's a supervillain who primarily utilizes illusions and other gadgets to perform crimes.
Now what?
This.
The original and current Mysterio was Quentin Beck, a special effects expert and stuntman who came to see his career choice as a dead end, his attempts at becoming an actor being met with poor reception.
His name was Quentin Beck. He got a year in jail for his crime.
Beck, realizing that his expertise in special effects would make him a capable supervillain, donned the role of Mysterio and went to the Daily Bugle newspaper, announcing that he would bring the hated Spider-Man to his knees. The newspaper editor, J. Jonah Jameson, who hated Spider-Man with a passion, agreed wholeheartedly and supported Beck's stunt. Mysterio soon battled Spider-Man and ultimately defeating and humiliating him through the use of his many tricks and special effects. He was dubbed a hero before Spider-Man fought him again and exposed his real intentions, resulting in him being arrested, Spider-Man's name being cleared, and Beck plotting revenge against the web-slinger. Mysterio's suit is equipped with many special effects, devices, and chemicals that can be used in various ways. It includes a holographic projector, gloves that can emit hallucinogenic gases, as well as knockout gas, and a gas that can nullify Spider-Man's spider senses.
I gotta trust my spider sense. Just close my eyes and... Guess that's a wrap.
He also has built-in sonar, which helps him navigate while concealed in his smoke. With the help from the Tinkerer, Mysterio has more advanced technology, including androids of him. He is a master of illusion, trickery, and acting. Number 4. Kingpin.
I even took a new name, Fisk, but I quickly became known as the Kingpin.
Kingpin Fisk was born around the year 1970. At an unknown point, he started a spice business where he made his fortune. By 2010, he had become one of the most powerful crime bosses in New York City, secretly controlling the city's organized crime families as the feared Kingpin. Fisk knew that Spider-Man would be a threat to his operations and made it his mission to kill him.
This is no game, I assure you. It is a demonstration of what is going to happen to the real Spider-Man.
In their first fight, Fisk consistently defeated Spider-Man, keeping his criminal operations secret. As a result, Fisk remained in control of his empire until 8 years later. Despite Fisk's corpulent appearance, his body is much more muscle than fat, granting him exceptional strength and far higher durability than the average human. He has been shown to be strong enough to break stone, smash a wooden desk, cave in steel pipes, and hurl grown men through brick walls, all with his bare hands, as well as survive falling from several stories and having large blocks of concrete thrown at him. Aside from the advantages of his abnormal strength, Fisk is a skilled fighter. He seems to have some skill with swordplay.
No. Destroy him.
Number 3. Vulture. Adrian Toomes, also known by his alias Vulture, is an antagonist in Marvel's Spider-Man. A former electronics engineer, Vulture uses high-tech artificial wings to fly at very high speeds and has a mouth covering on his outfit, which gives him a robotic voice. Adrian Toomes was born in Staten Island, New York, around the year 1942. He is a former electronics engineer who at an unknown point decided to turn to crime professionally as the Vulture.
Well, no dice.
See? This works on a superhero's brain, too!
As the Vulture, Adrian would go on to become one of the first supervillains to encounter Spider-Man, who has mentioned that they have fought each other about 24 times. Vulture was ultimately defeated by the Spider-Man and locked away in the Raft Maximum Security Prison. Utilizing his Vulture harness, Adrian Toomes is able to fly as if by natural wing flight. He wears a costume of synthetic stretch fabric, housing a tailored electromagnetic harness with bird-like wings attached beneath the arms. This consists of an electromagnetic anti-gravitation generator worn on his body as a harness, enabling him to fly silently with precise maneuverability.
Ah, pest! Why can't you leave me in peace?
The Vulture harness also increases his resistance to injury, to the point that he could survive blows from Spider-Man's enhanced strength. Number 2. Electro. Electro, Max Dillon, born in Endicott, New York, Max Dillon was involved in an unspecified accident which granted him the ability to absorb electricity and deploy it in destructive blasts. Becoming the supercriminal Electro, Dillon encountered the masked vigilante Spider-Man, with Electro being the first supervillain he ever fought. With Spider-Man apparently out of the picture, he moves to attack the police department, holding the officers at bay until Spider-Man arrives. He then flies off. Later, Dr. Octopus uses Electro as a backup plan in his attempt to blow up the wall crawler in his lair. Electro and the Vulture both attack when he escapes, but Spider-Man is able to fight them both, leaving Electro webbed up for the police to find. Electro can generate massive quantities of electricity, theoretically up to approximately 1 million volts. He can deploy his electrostatic energy as lightning arcs from his fingertips, and his maximum charge is more than enough to kill a normal human. When his body is charged to high levels, he becomes superhumanly strong and fast. He can also glide over power lines by using the electricity contained therein for propulsion, and he has on occasion been shown to actually ride on lightning bolts.
Nice try. Now, it's my turn!
Number 1. Dr. Octopus. Dr. Octopus, Otto Octavius, had a turbulent upbringing. His father, a factory worker, was abusive and violent towards both Otto and his mother, leading Otto to be shy and reclusive in school. However, at his mother's insistence, he was determined not to become like his father and threw all his efforts into his education, regularly scoring top marks. It was hinted that he was a low-level telepathic mutant whose powers emerged at puberty. With his harness attached, he is physically far more a match for Spider-Man. In his first appearance, he beat Spider-Man so badly that the wall crawler considered giving up his heroic career until he was inspired to continue by the Human Torch at the time, when the Fantastic Four was called in to fight Dr. Octopus.
Dr. Octopus was born.
Otto Octavius is a genius in the field of atomic physics, and he holds a PhD in nuclear science. A brilliant engineer and inventor, he is also a superb strategist and a charismatic leader. Due to exposure to atomic radiation, Dr. Octopus has acquired the mental ability of psychokinetic control over the 4 electrical-powered, telescoping, titanium steel artificial tentacle arms.
No one's ever done anything to Dr. Octopus.
Are there any other villains you think should have made the list? Comment down below. Take a look at this other recent clip by Director's Choice and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of our latest videos. Thank you for watching.